I'm Jay Jackson, and coming up, I'm going to show you how easy it was for me to drop 80 pounds in less than 9 months, and counting. Welcome to episode 22 of the ChoZen FroZen.
Bounce, bounce, bounce. Baby, bounce.
And welcome to the episode, everyone, episode 22. Thank you for the subscribers who have already hit that button. And if you haven't, please hit that subscribe button. Also, like and share this with your friends. We intend to change the way the world eats, one person at a time, one meal at a time. Now, before we get started, I want to give a shout out to some of the subscribers who have joined in already and who are doing great. First, I want to give it up to Miss Kathy Huck. She's lost a lot of weight and transformed her body. Denise Laurie, she's lost a lot of weight, 66 pounds in 7 months. Pastor Anthony Shannon is doing great. Pastor Seabury Green, 30 plus pounds. And my good old Navy friend, Mr. Arcel Kirk, subscribers to the ChoZen FroZen. Thank you so much for supporting the ChoZen FroZen. And we're going to be reading off some, giving shout outs to subscribers in future episodes. Now, before we get started, just a couple of quick things. I want to thank always Men's Health Magazine for the great interview they did with us that's going to be appearing online. Also, you'll need to download a calorie counting app. The one I suggest is MyFitnessPal. You can use any one, but I use this one because I've used it and it has been successful for me. So I'm really grateful for that. Now, if you have seen our videos before, you know I break this down into 3 different sections. First, we talk about the mathematics of weight loss, and that's where I get into the numbers that help me lose the weight. And then we talk about the practice of weight loss, and that's how we implement those numbers into our lives, and we get into a routine of losing weight. And then finally, we talk about the ChoZen, and that's where I'm talking to the more advanced ChoZen FroZen subscribers and give the latest tips of how to be more successful and also the recommended frozen food of the day. If you've seen our videos before, you can skip past the first 2. Just hover your cursor over that red line here on YouTube, and the ChoZen graphic will pop up, and just click there and you'll get right to the ChoZen section. But let's get to first things first, the mathematics of weight loss. This is what I do to lose weight, and it is one of the main pillars of the ChoZen FroZen. It is this: I eat 300 calories every 3 hours every day, up to 1,500 to 2,000 calories. Again, 300 calories or fewer every 3 hours every day, up to 1,500 to 2,000 calories. And that's it. That is the simple formula for weight loss. That's how I have gone from weighing 310 pounds and dropping 80 pounds in less than 9 months, and it's still going down. And there are lots of subscribers who are doing the same. We're losing lots of weight, 30, 40, 50, 60 pounds, and it has really changed their lives as it has changed mine. Now, there are 2 important factors regarding 300 calories every 3 hours. Number 1, you are never hungry. The problem with those of us who have eating issues is that we always think we're hungry. We always tend to want to eat. But when you're on the ChoZen FroZen, you're eating 300 calories every 3 hours. And 300 calories is a good sized meal. And you are not likely to be hungry in 3 hours after you've eaten a 300 calorie meal. So that is why it is very successful, because we aren't hungry anymore. And that was one of our big problems. But that leads into the second and most important part. At 300 calories every 3 hours, you are keeping your metabolism spinning at its optimal rate all day long. You see, if you keep it at 300 calories, 300-ish calories, that's the sweet spot. That's where you're not giving it too many calories. That's where you're not giving it too few calories. So that's why it's successful. See, if you give your metabolism 400 or 500 calories in a sitting, you might overwhelm it, and it might slow it down, and you're going to start accumulating fat, or at least not losing any weight. If you give it too few calories, it's like an engine. If you give it too little gas, it's going to stall. That's the same with the metabolism. You have to keep it right in the sweet spot. And I've discovered over time, and just watching the numbers as my weight goes down, and how much I was consuming, it's around 300-ish calories. So I do that every 3 hours to make sure that the fat burner is spinning at its optimal rate. Because once you get successful with this, you'll start to figure out that you're not really feeding yourself anymore. You are fueling your fat eater. We all have one, and it processes the calories and food the exact same way in every single human being from the time human beings started walking on 2 legs, Homo sapiens at least. That's how our metabolism processes food, calories in, calories out. So if you put 300 in, you're feeding right where it wants to be, right where it's happy doing its job, and it's not giving it too much, you're not bogging it down, and you're not giving it too little, you're not starving it, you're giving it the sweet spot. So that's why 300-ish calories every 3 hours is perfect. And I'm talking about anywhere between 200 and 400, but saying 300 is just an easy number to say, an easy number to remember. So remember, that's the mathematics of weight loss. 300-ish calories every 3 hours every day, up to 1,500 to 2,000 calories in a day. That's the mathematics of weight loss, and you have to remember those numbers if you want to have and be successful in the practice of weight loss.
Bounce, bounce, bounce. Baby, bounce.
And welcome to the practice of weight loss. This is where we talk about the routine of how you're going to consume calories throughout the day and how that's going to help you lose weight, as it has helped me lose my weight, 85 pounds already, and I lost 80 of that in less than 9 months. Been kind of on a plateau lately, but that's okay. I expect plateaus to happen. But here's the practice of weight loss. What is practice? Something you do over and over again until you get it right? Well, that's what the concept is in the ChoZen FroZen. You see, I eat 300-ish calories every 3 hours, every day, up to 1,500 to 2,000 calories. There's a limited time from the time I wake up and the time I go to bed. So that's where I have to figure out my 3-hour intervals. So I work like this. I get up at 8 o'clock and I have my first meal around 8 o'clock. And so my next meal is going to be 11 o'clock. The next meal is going to be 2 o'clock. After that, it's going to be 5 o'clock. And then after that, it's going to be 8 o'clock. And each of those meals, I'm eating 300-calorie meals or fewer, 300-ish calorie meals. Sometimes you can go higher, sometimes you can go lower, but I try to go fewer because that just helps me keep the numbers even when it comes to the end of the day. So 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock p.m. If you eat at 8 o'clock, if that's your first meal, then that will be your routine throughout the day. And every day, if that's what time you get up and that's what time you start to eat, around 8 o'clock, it'll be 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Those are when you're hitting your metabolism with 300-ish calories, and that's keeping it spinning every 3 hours. It's rejuvenating it every 3 hours to make sure that you are burning the fat off your body, and that's how it disappears so quickly, and people start to notice immediately once you start to lose that weight. Let's say you start eating at 7 o'clock. Well, that means your first meal is at 7 o'clock, and then the next meal is at 10 o'clock. The next meal is at 1 o'clock. The next meal is at 4 o'clock, and the next meal is at 7 o'clock. So basically, 3 hours from the first meal you have. Let's say you 9 o'clock, then it's 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Some people don't like to eat that late. I can understand that. You definitely don't have to. Because remember, you're not going to be hungry on the ChoZen FroZen because you're going to be eating all the time. You're going to be eating more than you want to eat. But what you have to remember is that you are fueling your fat burner. And your fat burner wants 300-ish calories every 3 hours. So that's what you give it. Even if you're not hungry, if in those situations, that's kind of tells me the body is giving me a treat. That's where I go out and get a donut or something because, I'm not hungry. A donut won't keep me full or make me full, but it will give my fat burner 300 calories. So that's the basics of the practice of weight loss. Remember your time slots. If you get up at 8, then it's 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock. If you get up at 7, it's 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock. And then the same thing for 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock. 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. That's the second pillar that supports the ChoZen FroZen, and there are so many different instances of people losing weight on this. Take a look at Denise Lowry. She's lost 66 pounds in 9 months. She's doing great. Look at Kathy Huck. She has transformed her body in less than 2 months. And these are people who never thought that they would get the weight off their body, but they certainly have. And congratulations to them. That's because, you know what? They really focused on 2 things: the mathematics of weight loss and the practice of weight loss.
Bounce, bounce, bounce. Baby, bounce.
And welcome to the final segment, the ChoZen. And welcome, ChoZen. Hope you guys are having a great journey, as I certainly am. You know how great it feels right now to be losing the weight, to be transforming your body, to get all the compliments, and people just can't believe what you're doing. And hopefully you are telling other people the exact way you're doing it with the ChoZen FroZen, because I mean it when I say we plan to change the way the world eats, one person at a time, one meal at a time. Now in this section, of course, I talk about 2 things. I give some tips, and then we talk about our frozen food of the day. And I'm going to start with that first. The frozen food of the day is going to be this healthy choice, Simply Steamers grilled chicken marsala. Chicken breast with russet potatoes, whole green beans, mushrooms, and onions, and a marsala wine sauce. Now this one is actually pretty good, but of course I always have to season mine up. I have to hook it up. I always put the food on a bed of spinach in this case. I like spinach because spinach is great for reducing blood pressure and processing sodium through your kidneys and liver. So that's why it's always good to have spinach on the menu, and it also adds to the texture and adds to the flavor of the meal. So that's why I put the spinach down. And then I pour the food right on top of the spinach. And that makes that spinach wilt, and it actually, again, adds to the texture and flavor, roughage, and all the nutrients that you need. Now, this is actually a very good meal. It's only 180 calories. As far as sodium goes, that's 460 milligrams. Not bad, because we try to keep it under 600. Carbs, 21 grams, but I really don't count carbs on the ChoZen FroZen. And then a great number for protein, 17 grams of protein. So this is an excellent meal, especially considering it's only 180 calories. That gives you a lot of room to have other things throughout the day. So that's our recommended meal of the day. Healthy choice, simply steamers, grilled chicken marsala, an excellent meal. And you've seen the seasonings that I use. I use Parmesan I put on this. I use some lemon pepper. And then I throw some chives in there to add to the flavor of this already excellent meal. So in review, the ChoZen FroZen stands on these pillars. Basically, 300 calories every 3 hours, every day, up to 1,500 to 2,000 calories. And then, of course, we have our time slots. This is the practice of weight loss, where we're talking about the times we eat. If we get up at 8 o'clock and eat at 8 o'clock, then it's 8, 11, 2, 5, 8. If it's 7 o'clock where you have your first meal, then it's 7, 10, 1, 4, 7. If it's 9 o'clock, then it's 9, 12, 3, 6, 9, you know. So basically 3 hours after your first meal, and every 3 hours after that is when you're going to be eating on the ChoZen FroZen. Again, to make sure that your fat burner, your metabolism, is operating at its optimal rate throughout the day, rejuvenating it, reviving it every 3 hours with a 300 punch of calories, and you will watch that fat just disappear off your body. So keep those important pillars in mind, and keep doing what you're doing for those subscribers who are successfully losing weight, because, you know, the future is coming, and you never know what it's going to be as far as fitness and health, so you might as well start preparing for it now, all right? Thank you for tuning in one more time to this episode of the ChoZen FroZen, episode 22. My name is Jay Jackson. Bon appetit.
Bounce, bounce, bounce. Baby, bounce. Come on, bounce, bounce, bounce. Baby, bounce for me. I like the way it snap back. Can I put it on Snapchat? Make it go clap, clap, clap. I'm gonna need a nap, nap. Got the bed squeaking. Baby girl, you freaking. No need for speaking. Look back, get a peeking. Tell me how you like it. Tell me how you need it. Tell me how you love it. Tell me how to squeeze it. Got me going crazy.